everyone. So I just wanted to have a little chat today and give a few helpful hints and tips about the age-old problem of sleep. Now, many of us ourselves suffer with sleep, and I know many parents have reported to me problems with their children sleeping. It is a common problem. It is something that people can struggle with year on year, and might need more intensive support from the GP or even a sleep clinic, or it might just be little tweaks that are needed to help. So I thought I would just speak today about just generally some hints and tips that might help. So first of all, how much sleep do children need? So from children up to the age of 5 need quite a lot. They need between 10 and 13 hours of sleep. Now, up to the age of 3, even going on 4, this can be include a nap during the day. But once they get closer to 5 and closer to school age, we should be discouraging naps during the day and trying to make that sleep a block during the night. Once they reach the age of 6, between the age of 6 and 12, so that's the majority of our students, they need between 9 and 11 hours sleep. Now, what I would say the biggest help to sleep is to decide on a routine, a bedtime, and stick to it. So to help you decide that, have a think about what time do I want my children getting up in the morning. So say if you were happy for your children to be early risers and be getting up at 6:30, then if you counted back roughly about 10 hours, they want to be settling in bed for sleep about 7:30. And if you wanted them to stay in bed till 7, then you might be starting to make sure they're settled by 9 o'clock. Now, when I say the bedtime is 7:30 or 9 o'clock, or even earlier if you're happy for them to be awake earlier, what I would say is not to be the time when it's bedtime, but to have a routine building up to that bedtime. So by the time that bedtime comes, they're in bed and they're ready to sleep. So what is a good sleep routine? So first of all, I would think about environment. So it's much easier to sleep in a room that isn't too hot or isn't too cold. So if they do like it warm, maybe just make sure there's a bit of ventilation, and the heating it's warm, but it's not too hot. Also, if it's too, if there is a problem with heating and it's too cold, make sure they've got warm pajamas, an extra blanket on the bed, something that will help them. Actually having an extra blanket or a bit of weight on top of you can really help children with sleep. And I know now, you can buy weighted blankets, and years ago these used to be really expensive, but you can get some on Amazon now for quite reasonable price. So that's one thing to consider. If your child seems to respond well to having a bit of extra weight, an extra blanket on them, or they always like to be wrapped up, a weighted blanket can be the thing that changes sleep. Another thing to think about is the light in the bedroom. So if it's too light, especially in the summer months, this can really have an effect. So try and make the bedroom dim as you're getting close to bedtime. And I wouldn't say go and buy expensive blackout blinds or curtains, but if you do have curtains that let a lot of light in, just throw an extra sheet over the top can make a difference. Just anything you can try to make it a bit darker. If your child's afraid of the dark, think about having a night light or maybe a light in the hall that they can see, just to give them that bit of safety. Also, I know we're always getting on our children to tidy their bedrooms, but having a tidier environment actually helps us to sleep. It helps to calm our brains. So what is a good sleep routine? So a good sleep routine is different for each family, but I would say whatever you set up as your routine, stick to that routine every night. So an example of a good routine that I would give you is half an hour before you want it to be bedtime is the warning of we're getting ready for bed now. So for half an hour or even an hour before, I would say no screens, no tablets, no phones. And the reason that this is really good is all our screens contain a certain kind of blue light that activates chemicals in our brain that keep us awake and keep us alert. So if you have some time between bedtime and going to sleep without the blue light, it can make a real difference to helping the brain to relax. It sometimes feels like a really good idea to let your child fall asleep watching a bit of YouTube or watching a film as a comfort to them or to help them relax, but actually it's detrimental to their health, and we really should have a bit of time between sleep, between relaxing and sleep, without any screens. So I'd really advocate trying that for the older children as well. Keep the phones in a different room. Give them a certain time you're allowed your phone up until, and then try and encourage them to keep it not in their room. Because I know myself how tempting it is if I wake up in the middle of the night to just think, oh, I'll have a quick scoot on social media. And you can easily get lost scrolling on social media for hours, as you probably all know. So then you've set up half an hour before bed. We're not having any screens. You're going to stick to this time, and then it's half an hour of wind down time. So it might be a last small drink, a last snack before bed, and letting them know this is the last one. You can't disturb me. Once you're in bed, there's no more drinks, there's no more snacks, there's no saying that I'm hungry. Part of that routine is have a little chat about the plan for tomorrow. Sometimes children can go to bed and then start to fret about, right, what's coming tomorrow, what day is it, what have I got? But if you make that part of your nighttime routine, just to have a little chat of tomorrow is this day and this is what normally happens on this day, that can be really helpful. A bath can be really helpful and something to relax. If you don't want them to have a bath every night or a shower, even just that routine of getting changed into pajamas, brushing teeth, washing hands and face, sets that distinguished bedtime. And then once they're settled in bed, some time to do something relaxing. So maybe chill out and listen to some music, read a story together, or read a story by themselves if they're old enough to. And then letting them know that even if they're engrossed in their story, once it's bedtime, it's bedtime. Now, this is hard for the first few weeks to set up this routine and to stick to it. But if you make sure you stick to it and there is no deviating, it really will have a positive impact. You will get all sorts of arguments from the children, such as my friend stays up till 10 o'clock, or I'm not tired. But once they know you mean business, they'll stop arguing against it. And because children actually, even though they look to be arguing against it, they actually thrive on routines. So if there are any sleep problems going on that you need support with, you can always give me a ring and we can chat this through further. But giving it a couple of weeks of trying a regular routine of the same thing every night should really help. So I'm always around in school. If you want to chat further about this, don't hesitate to give me a call or drop me an email or contact me. Come and chat to me on the playground. All right, thanks, bye.